Hi, I'm Stacy Caplow. I'm here to talk to you about our clinical programs. They are extremely diverse. A couple of years ago, in 2007, there's a big report that was issued by the Carnegie Foundation, which studies education. And they criticized law schools as basically focusing too much on classroom learning and not enough on learning the other two components of being a lawyer. What we do here is provide opportunities for our students to do actual work. We've been doing programs in experiential learning, throwing you in the water and getting you to swim, but having a very conscientious lifeguard watching to make sure you don't drown. So we've been doing this for more than 30 years. And our programs have grown and grown and grown, and they have diversified from what was originally sort of the model of kind of one student working with a client. Now we have experiences across the board. You could help somebody who is being denied certain types of benefits, whether it's medical benefits, healthcare benefits, whether it's benefits like under Social Security for disability, whether it's unemployment insurance. You could help them by meeting them, finding out the facts of their case, assembling the evidence in their case, and then accompanying them and going to the hearing, at which point they are contesting their right to that assistance. So you work with the client, and at the end of the day, you help the client get something that they apparently under the law are entitled to get. Meanwhile, what you're doing is you're interviewing, you're counseling, you're gathering facts and creating an evidentiary record. Maybe you have to write something, you have to make an oral presentation, you may have to do direct, cross, and at the end of the day, hopefully you have the satisfaction of your client saying to you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and what are you? You're a second-year law student and you're able to accomplish that. If you like to help people, you might be able to represent somebody who is the victim of violence in their own country because of their political opinion, who was jailed, who was tortured, who was seriously harmed and managed to get to the United States and is applying for asylum here. Some of you might be able to help somebody who is experiencing the crush of consumer debt or a mortgage debt, and you can work with them either in our bankruptcy clinic or in our civil court consumer clinic. So you can be in our employment clinic, you could be in our health law clinic, you could be in our elder law clinic and in our immigration clinic and do all of this kind of stuff. Our clinics either are taught by full-time faculty whose basic job it is to make sure that you become effective learners through experience. We also have formed over the last couple of years some wonderful and enduring relationships with other agencies where individuals there, usually fairly senior, will take on the role of supervising our students. You could work in the DA's office and basically be prosecuting on behalf of people who've been victims of violence, theft, minor crimes. We have students working in both the Brooklyn and the DA's office and the U.S. Attorney's office, and they're actually in court. They're in front of the judge. They're presenting the evidence. They're working with the agents. They're trying the case, and in most cases, they're getting convictions, so they walk out of their first trial saying, I won. You might be able to defend New York City in lawsuits that people bring against New York City in federal and state court and argue on behalf of the city. You might be able to argue an appeal. We're not just in trial courts, but we're in appellate courts too. You might be able to help a low-income housing co-op keep their affordable housing by helping them refinance and do a new closing on their property and help them to draft bylaws in our corporate and real estate clinic. Students this semester are working in law offices, judges' chambers, public agencies all over the city. And I gathered a couple of them. So we start with the alphabet soup. The EPA, the FTC, the FDNY, the NYPD, the SEC, CBS, UN, USPS, CBP, but that's Customs and Border Patrol, EEOC, and then a few random other things like Burberry, Elizabeth Arden, NYCLU, ACLU, just to use the alphabets. But it gives you a little bit of an idea. We have students all over in private sector, public sector, judges' chambers. One of my favorite stories is once I was taking my students into court. The judge was a Brooklyn Law School alum. The judge's student law clerk was a Brooklyn Law School alum. The judge's full-time law clerk was a Brooklyn Law School alum, and my adversary was a Brooklyn Law School alum. You know, it's sort of wherever you look, you pick up a rock and there's a Brooklyn Law School person. Here you are in New York. The legal world is your oyster. There's no opportunity that's really impossible. Nice to meet you all. I hope to see you out in the courtyard where 2 years from today, you're telling me how much you learned in the summer after your first year.